Greetings, I am Brenda Smith, and welcome back to another session of How to Live on Earth as It Is in Heaven. This is session 2 of the Mind Transformation. Remember, the place where Jesus was crucified was called Golgotha, known as the place of a skull. Let's look at Matthew chapter 27, verse 33. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull. Individuals were crucified there because their minds had not been transformed to the will and to the Word of God. The bone structure that houses and protects the brain is the skull. The brain houses our minds, our will, our emotions, and our intellect. The skull also is a protective structure for our eyes, mouth, and nose, and ears. Then we have the spinal cord, which extends from the head to the body, therefore sending impulses to the body to get the body to do what is in our minds. Golgotha was a place full of skulls, of individuals whose mind had not been protected, nor transformed by the word and the will of God. Therefore, they performed evil. When Jesus was crucified, his blood ran down onto Golgotha Hill, known as Skull Hill. And when the blood ran down to the earth on Skull Hill, it made provisions for the minds and the souls to be transformed. Remember, life is in the blood. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 17, verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your soul. For it is the blood that makes an atonement for our soul. Remember, in all our getting, we should get an understanding. Our soul houses our thoughts, our will, our emotion, and our intellect. This is according to Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. This is what Jesus did when he was crucified and his blood ran down on Skull Hill. He made an atonement for our soul, an atonement for our minds. Even in the beginning, God had a plan for our life. Let's define soul: the spiritual principle that embodies a man, a moving spirit. That's according to Webster's Collegiate Dictionary. A breathing creature, according to Strong's Concordance, Hebrews 5313 and 5315. Remember, God breathed himself into man in Genesis, the 2nd chapter, verse 7. Our soul is God in us. God breathed in us his mind, his will, his emotion, and his intellect. Now that we know that the transformation begins with the head, let's look at the parts of our head. The mind, the thought process of the head. The eye, the seeing part of the head. The ear, the hearing part of the head. The mouth, the speaking part of the head. And the mouth, again, which is the part of the head that nourishes our body. And then the nose, the smelling part of the head. We are now in the process of transforming the entire part of our head, which will cause our bodies to be transformed for the kingdom of heaven on earth. The skull, which houses the mind, the eyes, the ears, the mouth, and the nose, are the part of the head that transmits information into our mind to bring about a response in our body. Now, ask yourself this question. Where is the information coming from that is entering into your head? That is entering into your mind, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, and your nose? Is it the commands of God? Is it your fleshly desires? Or is it literally the commands of Satan? My heart's desire is to make operating in the kingdom of heaven so simple that we can do it, with our primary goal being to submit to God and resist the devil. That he literally flees from us every time he shows up. Know that where God sees the unity, that is where he commands his blessings. The first unity should be with God and us, then with each other. So let's get our minds transformed for the kingdom of heaven on earth. Now, the next session will help you understand why it is so important to have our body and our mind transformed to the will of God. Because we will look at why Satan was literally cast out of heaven. Once again, I am Brenda Smith, a Kingdom of Heaven ambassador, and this has been another session of how to live on earth as it is in heaven.